Hello, and welcome back to Road TRipVIA, the once-a-day road trip trivia quiz. Today's episode will be Brainy Tuesday number 14. We are 10 episodes away from episode 500. Today's is episode 490. Before we get started, I would like to give a shout out to the 59 Clayton boys and one girl and say thank you for watching this channel. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Good luck on today's quiz. Question 1. After 3 days of the Pequod's violent engagement with the whale, what is the name of the only survivor and the narrator of Moby Dick who drifts in the open sea on a coffin until finally being rescued by a passing ship? The narrator's name is Ishmael. Question number 2. Widely considered the greatest Greco-Roman wrestler of all time, Russian Alexander Karelin's 13-year undefeated run was ended by what American in the 2000 Sydney Olympics in the upset of the century? The answer is Rulon Gardner. Question 3. Appreciated for its color and natural beauty since Neolithic times, some of the most exquisite jewelry in the world is created from what semi-precious gemstone made of fossilized resin? That gemstone is called amber. Question 4. If blood is broken down too rapidly, the liver may not be able to remove the abnormal amount of bilirubin fast enough, and the individual suffering from what resulting condition will exhibit a yellow pallor? The condition that exhibits a yellow pallor is called jaundice. Question 5. Born in Bombay, India and educated in England, what author of Captains Courageous and Gunga Din did much of his writing from his home in Vermont and was the first and the youngest Briton to win the Nobel Prize in Literature? The answer is Rudyard Kipling. Question 6. On June 30th, 1881, he called in Abraham Lincoln's son for an hour of recollection about the 1865 assassination. Then, 2 days later, what man became the second U.S. president shot while in office? That president was James Garfield. Question 7. Alnico is a type of iron alloy often used in the production of powerful magnets. What are the 3 metallic elements bonded to iron whose chemical symbols spell the name Alnico? Those 3 elements are aluminum, nickel, and cobalt. Question 8. Among the biggest events of what century were the beginning of the iconoclastic controversy in the East, the Saracen invasion of Spain in the West, Charles Martel died, and Charlemagne was crowned emperor? That was the 8th century or the 700s? Question 9. who is the only U.S. president to win the popular vote in 4 different elections, defeating, in order, Herbert Hoover, Alf Landon, Wendell Willkie, and Thomas Dewey? The answer is Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Question 10. First published in 1885 without a title, in 1856 it was given the temporary title of Walt Whitman, an American, then in 1860 was shortened to simply Walt Whitman. But what title did Whitman finally give to this classic poem about Walt Whitman? That poem is called Song of Myself. Question 11. Admah, Zeboim, and Zoar were, according to both the Old Testament and the Quran, 3 of the 5 cities of the plain. What were the names of the other 2 more notorious cities of the plain? The 2 cities you've probably heard of are Sodom and Gomorrah. Question 12. The Italian composer Vincenzo Bellini is famous for his 1831 opera La Sonnambula. Translating La Sonnambula from Italian into English describes what nighttime disorder? The answer is sleepwalking. Question 13. Traditionally described as too thick to drink, too thin to plow, what 2,300-mile-long American river is nicknamed the Big Muddy and travels sidewise before joining the Mississippi River near St. Louis? The answer is the Missouri River. Question 14. For any wave motion, it is defined as the maximum displacement from the mean value. For a pendulum, it is half the extent of its swing. What is the term for this quality which is modulated in some forms of radio communication? The answer is amplitude. Question 15. Clarence was his disciple, Sandy his wife, Hello Central his daughter, Merlin his enemy, and Arthur his king. What literary character created by Mark Twain suddenly found himself in the wrong century? It's from the Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, so Connecticut Yankee, Hank Morgan, or the boss. Question 16. Chinese, English, French, Russian, and Spanish are 5 of the 6 official languages of the United Nations. What 6th language was added in 1973 which allows the delegates of Bahrain, the Sudan, and Somalia to converse? The answer is Arabic. Question 17. Spending his final year in a small garden house behind Westminster Abbey, and when what man died on October 25, 1400, was buried in the abbey itself as the first and arguably the greatest Englishman to be interred in the Poets' Corner? The answer is Geoffrey Chaucer. Question 18. Sometimes stability is listed as the fourth, but for the most part, what are the 3 traditional vows that monks and nuns take before joining their respective organizations? They take vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. Question 19. An 18-foot-long marlin and a 16-foot-long boat piloted by the elderly Santiago are all essential parts of what modern novella classic by Ernest Hemingway? The answer is The Old Man and the Sea. Question 20. A Practical Handbook of Bee Culture and Upon the Distinction Between the Ashes of the Various Tobaccos are 2 works supposedly written by what fictional creation of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle? The answer is Sherlock Holmes. Alright, that is it for today. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Road Tripvia. Like I said, we are only 10 away from episode 500. Episode 500, I think, what I'm shooting for is going to be a 50-question party quiz to celebrate 500 episodes. The 50 questions will all revolve around celebrations and bars and drinking and alcohol trivia. So if you're into that sort of thing, make sure you check in. Episode 500, it'll be 50 questions. It'll probably be 20 or 30 minutes long to get that many questions in, but it should be a good time, and it's halfway to my goal of 1,000 YouTube trivia quizzes. Again, thank you to the 59 Clayton boys. I appreciate you guys watching this channel. But as I understand it, the one girl in the picture is the one who always wins when you play trivia. So maybe you study a little harder, maybe you get a little bit better, and you can give her a run for her money on this game or the next game. Or maybe switch over to Chutes and Ladders or something that you have a better chance at winning. Anyways, question 21 for tonight, the tiebreaker. Before they both went to the State University of New York at Cortland, future WWF and WWE professional wrestler Mick Foley also attended high school and was teammates with what actor, famous for his roles as the big lovable guy in many of the Happy Madison movies? The answer is Kevin James. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good evening. See you tomorrow.